Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is Felicia Carter with Lioness Creation Designs, Chakra and Love Healing, the podcast, Heal Baby, Bye Bye Belly, Spiritual Growth Podcast, High Age Institution. I am so excited to be here with you guys. Now, before we hop into our podcast episode, I'm going to need you all to tell me good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are at, where you're tuning in from. And look, we already got someone here from Ireland. Hey. All right. Well, I am definitely going to let you know what the topic is about and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for hopping on. Make sure that you all heart this live. Make sure that you share this live. But first, let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, because I'm not sure what the um, broadcast is like right now since I am sitting out in the parking lot at my son's basketball practice. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Super excited to have you from Ireland. Welcome, welcome. Good evening from Alabama. Thank you so much for tuning in, Goddess. Thank you. All right. And we got someone from Lake Wiley, South Carolina. Welcome, welcome. You are not too far from me, actually. Oop. Hey, Travis. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Pennsylvania. You are even closer to me because I am right here in Virginia. So, welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Spiritual Growth Podcast. I have not seen a comment saying whether or not you all can hear me. All right, I do see it. I can hear you clear on my earbud. I am so glad to know that. So glad to know that because that means that our broadcast is working properly. Okay. So today we are talking about friendships, breakups, and fallouts. Okay. Now, if you all would like, thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate that. Now, if you all would like to join the broadcast before we get into the topic, please let me know and I will try my best to bring you guys on. As y'all know, because I'm in the car, that means that I'm on my cell phone tonight and not my laptop, okay? But I hope that the lighting is good for a little bit. And if I do need to end up turning it on, the light in the car, then I'll do that because it's not too dark, but the sun is setting. Okay, I wish you guys could see it. It's actually pretty, very pretty behind the trees a little bit, but I can still see it. I hope that you all had a fantastic day. Today, my day was a bit stressful, but I got through it. And I also had a wonderful, wonderful shadow work session. I'm going to be leaving my review on how that went as well on my page and tagging the beautiful goddess who provided me with a reading as well as a shadow work session for free. Okay, that I won. So I'm super excited about that to tell you all. But let's go ahead and hop into the episode. I don't see any comments saying that anyone wants to come up on the platform with me. I'm really excited to try that option here on StreamYard, y'all. So one day, someone has got to come up here on the platform and chat with me, okay? The reading y'all's comments is so awesome, but I also would love to have a back and forth conversation with someone. That is what I do. That is why I love podcasting. It's really weird because I don't normally like in real life, I'm really quiet unless I really, really know you. So having that back and forth dialogue is not something that I tend to do. I kind of like to just be sitting with someone, and just enjoying their time and their space, right? But, a lot of the times I will communicate with them. Divine timing about relationships as I am having some feels. Okay, so are you having good feels? Are you having bad feels? What kind of feels are you having? Let's go ahead and hop into the conversation for tonight. Friendships, breakups, and fallouts. Okay. Ooh, okay. Yes, we'll definitely have to set up a time for you to be in the discussion. Okay. So maybe we can figure out if you inbox me or something and let me know like what the time difference is and all that stuff. Maybe I could try to be up early enough in the morning so that it's, a good time for you all who are overseas. Okay. we'll do that one day for a podcast episode. I would love that. Um, so I don't know if most of you know, I am 37 years old, okay? And I have been in relationships as well, you know, and I would say my first real experience in a relationship was at the age of uh well, I had my first relationship, I would say at 15. That's when I lost my virginity and all that stuff or whatever. I thought it was a relationship, but it wasn't really a relationship. He really used me just just so that, I guess he could have sex with a virgin. He was a little bit older than me, not so much older than me. I like older guys. That's pretty much what it is. But after him came my first real relationship. Okay. And he's about a year older than me. And I am the type of person where I fall into like or lust or love pretty quickly. It's like my heart knows exactly how I feel about somebody right away. Sometimes now it takes me a little bit of time because I'm second guessing, like how they really feel just because of the things that I've been through. But with him, I was pretty much head over heels in love with him. He used to write me poems. He would buy me things, little necklaces and stuff, what he could afford. And I appreciated it because I was like, oh, he loves me, this is my man, this and that or whatever. So we ended up together, and it was somebody who at first I didn't like. So, I was like, at first I didn't like him. We started talking. I found out, he could write poetry, and I love poetry. And he used to write me poems. He used to write me songs, and buy me things. And I was what, about 15, about to turn 16 when we first got together, I think. So, we were taking walks and everything. Hey, welcome, welcome. We were taking walks and doing, the things that young teenage couples do. We were also having sex. So I ended up pregnant, and I ended up um kind of being forced to have an abortion because I was still living at home with my mother. And then being a teenager, I ended up pregnant again. And I ended up telling my mother that I did not want to have another abortion, that I was going to keep this baby. And that was me telling her that at 16. And then I ended up with my oldest son, who will soon be turning 20 next month, July 17th. It's his birthday. And from there, I was thinking I was um head over heels in love with him. I actually moved out. It was a lot of things that happened in between, but I moved out of my mom's house, moved in with his mother and him for a little bit. Then we ended up getting our own place, which led to us getting our own. Well, we got married before that. Then we ended up moving in together. When we ended up moving in together, I didn't know that you really don't know about someone until you really move in with them. That is when you learn about um what they do, their habits, how they are, um it was pretty bad, okay? It was very abusive mentally, physically, verbally, like all of that. And we ended up breaking up because he wanted to go back to his ex. And that is how our first breakup happened. Um, and from then, for me, after that, all the relationships that followed pretty much would either be um I would break up with them maybe like 10 to 11 months into the relationship. I would find something that made me be like, nope, this not the one. or they did this, so now I either gotta ghost them or now I gotta break up with them. I really didn't know what it was, but everything that happened after that was pretty much like, nope, he yelled too loud. So it's time for me to get up out of here. He's showing signs of abuse. It would be like, nope, he didn't return my phone call, so I know he's cheating on me. So I might as well just delete him on my phone. I might as well just hang up, and never call him again. I would find anything that I felt like was super bad, and I was breaking up with them after that. That I was done, or I was ghosting them. Like, I didn't really break up with too many people. I ghosted a lot of people, and I'm not proud of that, but that is how I handled it. That is until I got with um my husband now. We've been together for married for 9 years, but together for 10. Um, and even friendships, somehow my friendships, they just end sometimes. Like, I feel like if I'm checking up on you, you could do the same, type of thing. But if I feel like I'm bothering you, or I feel like, you know, if I reach out a certain amount of times and you don't, like, you don't respond back, or you see it, you don't respond back for a very long time. And I don't mean just, oh, 24 hours. Like, I mean, you saw it months ago and you had no response. If I feel like, okay, like now I'm bothering you, I'm borderline harassing you, checking up on you and things like that, then I'll just drop the friendship altogether. Like, that's pretty much how I am. So I guess you could call that a fallout. Um, or whatever. But for me, that's how it's always been. So I don't know how you all handle those type of situations. I would love to see it in the comment section. Um, because in a way I feel like it's not the healthiest way to fall out with people, but at the same time I also feel like, I know what I do and don't want in a friendship. I know what I do and don't want in a relationship, and I choose to end it the way that I choose to end it. And I don't know, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I feel like, let me know what it is that you do to end a friendship, to break up with someone, or to end any type of relationship. I would love to know that. You say you finally closed the last thing in your old marriage. Happy and sad. I definitely understand that. As I said, I've been through a divorce already. I was divorced by the age of 18. And because I was divorced by the age of 18, it's like, it wasn't the easiest thing to do, but I feel like it was necessary for me to be able to move forward in my life. I feel like um it definitely taught me about the things that I don't want. It definitely showed me and opened my eyes to how much work marriage takes. And in that previous marriage, it just was not things that was being done properly. It was no communication. It was, majority of the time, uh, us not listening to each other and the needs that we wanted. We didn't establish all of these things before we got married. We didn't establish these things in the relationship because we were too young. We really didn't know what it took to make any relationship work. And, you know, we felt like dating was just going around, walking, hanging out, talking on the phone about bullshit, basically, because um, we didn't talk about what is it going to take to make our relationship work? What is the things that you like and need? Like, he knew my favorite color. Like, he knew that I liked butterflies. He knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, just bullshit things that teenagers talk about. We didn't talk about building a foundation and building a strong relationship. We didn't talk about, hey, I really don't like when people do this. And those are the things I think that in any relationship need to be set before you become friends with somebody, or before you get into a relationship with somebody. You have to set certain things and expectations with any and everybody. because any and everything is a relationship, whether it's a relationship with your parents, whether it's a relationship with your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your children, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever it is, your teachers, your boss, like everything is a relationship. And, if you are not telling people what your expectations are, how you expect them to treat you, then they're going to treat you the way that they feel that they should treat people. I don't know if it's just my phone, but I would love to hear how you deal with breakups and fallouts with friends, family, spouses, whoever. Um, do you just ghost them? Do you have a conversation with them? Do you text them? Like, what is the way that you deal with anything in the relationship? Because I would like to know, is ghosting someone wrong? Is just saying you're done and then not having a conversation, is that the way that you feel you should end things, or do you feel like you should have a full-blown conversation with someone? What if you know that having a full-blown conversation with someone is going to lead to an argument, something that you don't want, because maybe that person isn't going to listen to actually hear you and understand? What if they just are going to disagree with you because they feel like they're right about whatever has happened? You know? Oh, 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 oh. All the comments coming in. Let's see. Okay. I ghost people who I feel are going to react hostile or violent if I tell them it's over. And I definitely feel like, let's say that we don't call it ghosting, right? What if we call that protecting your energy and protecting yourself, right? And it could be a fight or flight. It could be a trauma response. But at the same time, if you know that person well enough, right? And you know that they're going to react hostile or violent, then you're looking out for you and your best interest, right? So I feel like that's taking care of yourself. That's giving yourself love that you need in order to be able to end something that's toxic. But at the same time, you don't have to deal with putting yourself in a situation that you feel is going to turn hostile or violent. So for me, I feel like, why not, right? You have to protect yourself. I am not speaking with my mom. I just told her I am done. And this is one of those hard things, right? Because, like, I don't know if you saw, I think it was my last episode or my episode before that, but I had not spoken to my mom a few times, right? This last time was the longest time that we've ever gone without speaking. It was almost 2 years without speaking, you know? And although it wasn't the decision that I originally wanted to make, I felt it was the best decision that needed to be made, because I needed to finally put my foot down and say, I'm not going to allow you to continue to treat me this way. I am grown and I have a family of my own. We need to be, that is what me not speaking to her was for me. And then when we finally did come back together to talk, it was to really talk about what happened. It was to really sit down and discuss, hey, this is what is not working. This, we need boundaries. So sometimes you have to do that. And does it hurt? Yes, it can hurt, but it's necessary to stop breaking the cycles and doing what you need to do. And if you guys do come back, make sure that you set the boundaries that you need to with her. You know, I always discuss everything, but some just don't comprehend. So, no point in talking to a wall. Okay, so if you discuss everything and some people don't comprehend, I would like to know, how do you deal with that? situation. Like if they're not comprehending what you're talking about, how do you deal with that situation? Is it at that point, do you just stop and you just be like, okay, look, I'm done, and then you just walk away? Or like what is the way that you go about that? Thank you. Appreciate you stopping through. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Please, y'all, make sure that you share this live out and make sure that you heart this live. Let's have a real deal conversation. We are talking about friendships, breakups, and fallouts, okay? Any relationships with anyone. And I just saw 2222, y'all. So we are on the right path, all right? Other people's feelings are not my responsibility if they are feeling away. It caused something in them was triggered. They have to do the shadow work. That is so true. And I was just talking to a goddess about shadow work, like actually having my own session about courage and, feelings, emotions, relationships, and things like that. And you are so right. And that is one of the hardest things to learn, is that other people's feelings are not my responsibility, right? Because if they're projecting onto you, this is one of the hardest things that I think I'm learning, right? If they are projecting onto you, it has nothing to do with me. And that's the part that I tend to get stuck at. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not about me. And I always feel like, oh my gosh, they're attacking me. Oh my gosh, like this is how they feel about me. And I get so stuck and in my feelings. But I have to learn how to take that part off and just be like, okay, that's not about me, right? Because I know what I'm doing and I know that what I'm doing is the correct thing. I haven't harmed them or haven't done anything to them to make them feel this way. But if they feel that way, then that's fine. They feel that way. You can't stop anybody from feeling a way. You can only control yourself. So I definitely agree with this statement here. Okay, thank you. All right. And so you said that you shut down, right? So if you are shutting down, for you, is that the healthiest way? Do you take that energy and do you put it in something else, or do you think about it? Like, cuz I know when I shut down, I kind of tend to overthink the situation over and over, like kind of obsess over it, right? Because it didn't turn out the way that I thought it should. And that's something that I'm working on as well. Like, everything is working out the way that it should. Everything is working out for its greater good because everything has already been done. We are just now moving through the situation. So, how do you feel that shutting down helps you? Do you feel like you know why you've shut down? Are you working through that shutting down phase? Do you feel it for that moment? Let it go? Like, how do you deal with that? What if the school system threatens you? I told them off and called them out for being coven witches. Is that too much? Okay. So I guess I need a little bit more to go on. So, um, who threatened you at the school? Was it something that happened prior to them threatening you? I'm not by any way saying that them threatening you was right in any way whatsoever. Um, I too would have told them off as well, if someone threatened me. But why were you calling them out for being witches? Like I'm trying to understand your whole comment, so that I can kind of answer this a little bit better. It's a lot left out. I don't really understand. I think till it's pointless. Then I literally shut down. Just float and hope for a better tomorrow. Okay. Well, hey, and if that's working for you, if that's the way that you get through your emotions and things like that, then keep doing that. But if when you shut down, if it feels like, you know, it's not gonna get better, if you ever feel like it's just getting worse, then definitely try to work through it. Try to journal it out. Try to figure out, why do I feel this way about it? Why, you know, I mean, but at the end of the day, like, we can't make people understand us, right? We can't, if people don't want to stay, we can't make them. So, it's definitely best for us to, let that go. I had a recent friend, friendship breakup, that I initiated the friendship breakup. Um, and I felt like it was going to get confrontational, and this person proved me right. Because after I got done blocking all of the pages and things like that, they sent someone else to send me a message, a long message that was very confrontational. And, I felt like it was best that I was completely done, because I don't need a confrontation, and a lot of people may call it, oh, you just didn't want to have a conversation. I didn't feel the conversation was necessary. You knew what you did. I know what I saw, and that was it. So it just kind of felt like I made the right decision, and they proved me right. So sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Yes, my son got a lighter, and they are trying to harvest my energy. His classmate gave it to him and was lighting paper. I am not afraid of them. I went up against them multiple times. Okay, but I'm trying to understand how you calling them out because your son got a lighter. They were trying to harvest your energy, and the classmate gave him the lighter and was like, I'm trying to understand how that relates to, and I don't know, right now I'm not getting anything from it. Like, I'm trying to understand how that correlates to them being coven witches. I guess because for me, I don't feel like being a witch is a negative thing, but I feel like if someone is trying to harvest your energy, that's a horrible thing. But I'm trying to understand how that your son having a lighter and them trying to harvest your energy, like, and him lighting paper. I'm just trying to understand how that all works. And I apologize if I'm just not getting it. Maybe someone can explain that to me, and how that all correlates. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Make sure that if you are hopping on, please go ahead and heart this live, share this live out. We are talking about friendships, breakups, and fallouts tonight. So if you have anything that you would like to add to the discussion, please do. I went up against the school district, and they treated DSS on me for exposing corruption. Okay. Okay. They attack me all the time due to my refusal to their psychological evaluation. Oh, okay. So do they feel like you're the one who needs the psychological evaluation, or your son is the one who needs the psychological evaluation? I know that a lot of the times schools do feel like their testing is something that has to be done, and they feel like anyone Okay, yeah, they feel like anyone who doesn't want to have either vaccinations done or testings done and things like that is necessarily a bad thing. But uh, definitely, if that's something that you feel strongly about not having your son tested, then keep doing what you're doing, keep advocating for him. And I don't think it necessarily means that they're coven witches. Have they showed anything else to make you feel that way? Or like what other signs have you seen that have, really made you feel like they're coven witches and they're attacking you because of the refusal? I feel like that's a very, very strong thing to do. Oh, okay. Well, what I would say, is definitely make sure that you are keeping you and your son protected. And that could be by, anything. Saying a prayer or doing a meditation with your son before and after school, making sure you guys are cleansing, making sure, that he is carrying a protection stone on him, or anything that you can do to make sure that you all are protected. But also, if that's not the only school in the area, why not switch his schools if if that's something that you can do. I don't know how it is where you live, but I would definitely find out. Make sure that you're talking to who you need to talk to. Sometimes the school district itself is not the right place. Sometimes you have to go over top of them, and figure out how you can get your needs being met. Make sure that you have everything on paper. Make sure that everything is notarized. Make sure you got, you know, um, other things going on that will help you and your son so that he doesn't have to be, tested. And yes, homeschool as well. No problem. I just wanted to make sure that I understood you. And y'all, it's getting darker out here. So I know y'all is starting to lose me because there's no light, right? Let me see if I can. Y'all, thank you so much, Lindsay. Thank you so much for adding that. Oh, mm, that's not good. That's a little worse, actually. But yes. So, what are some other ways that you all deal with friendships, breakups, or fallouts? I would love to know. And like I said, if there's anything that I can assist with, I will try to. There are some situations that I just don't know about, but I don't mind hearing people out and working through that situation. We are here to heal, help each other, and love on each other. I see that we are 35 minutes in. I am so glad that my phone is really working out here right now. Um, but today, just to get off track a little bit, today I saw 1010 and um it was 1010 this morning, and I had sent a voice message to one of my good friends, and I had sent a voice message that was a minute and 11 seconds. So I thought that that was really interesting. When I looked at 1010, it said everything that you're thinking is in alignment. And so I know that everything that we are working on together as a unit is in alignment with the purpose that I am put here on earth for. I don't know if you all have heard this song. It is called Earth is Ghetto. I think it came out a few years ago. I'm not sure, but I'm just discovering it this year. So to me, it is brand new. It is called Earth is Ghetto. And if you haven't heard it, you should definitely listen to it. I believe her name starts with an A. I want to say Alyssa. but that could be wrong. But I first found it on YouTube, but it is on Spotify. So if you just put in Eartha's Ghetto, that is a really good song. If you are a Starseed, is like, I mean, I just enjoy it. Um, but also there's this song that I have just started listening to as well called um I Am Dope or I'm Dope. And his name is Michael Wyatt something or whatever. But I think that Toby, whatever his last name is, or um he produced it. Really great song as well. But I love the conversation that we all have had today. And even though I am not in my usual place, I'm so glad that you all joined me in the conversation. Please, 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 please make sure that you let people know about the Spiritual Growth Podcast by sharing it on your platforms, um, and sharing, I mean, and hearting this podcast as well, because it gets people to see it and they know that it's here and that you all enjoyed the podcast, so that more people will start to come on and have conversation, and then we can have more guests hopping on the podcast episode so that we can all have an open dialogue. I would love to get more people, kind of like a panel discussion as well on the podcast sometimes, so that we can really have those spiritual conversations. Um, that is what this podcast is all about. Cot H Institution. I want to just put a little message out there for y'all. Cottage Institution is a group of spiritual people. Yes, we do emit positive energy on the page, but also we are real people. We have real feelings. And I want to say hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. You are so appreciated. Please make sure that you heart and share this podcast out. I do want to go ahead and say that, although we cannot control the things that everyone says here on the platform, in the comment section, there will be times. I do have three businesses, okay? And for the most part, I am the person who you all see the most. I like pictures, I like doing lives. But there are a group of us who do run the page. So in that instance, there have been some really rude and nasty things about myself, and other editors have spoken up for me, which I do appreciate, but at the same time, disrespect being shown to anybody on the Cottage Institution page is not going to be tolerated at all. And we do this for you all. We do this for the growth of the people, um, no matter who those people are. So, if we can keep things together, as far as just don't be disrespectful. You don't know people, and I don't know if you were ever taught that if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. Like, why come to a page and be rude to people, especially when you don't know them? This is the part about spiritual growth that we are trying to teach as well. It is no point in being rude and nasty to people. And I know that people are projecting whatever they're going through, but it's still very, it's uncalled for. Okay, so I wanted to say that because it has really been on my mind. It's not the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last time. Why? Because I know I chose to be out here in the public eye. I chose to put myself out there, but at the same time, there's no need to be nasty about it. There's no need to be rude about things. And I just wanted to get that off my chest, work on my throat chakra. But anyway, I love you guys. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your evening, as I don't see any more comments. And I see 313 as we have three viewers on here and 13 hearts and likes. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Have a good evening, and I'll see you all next Friday.